2015, Bradford shocks Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Fourth round of the 2015 FA Cup. Premier League leaders Chelsea take on third-tier Bradford City. A clear-cut affair, or so everyone thought. After just 38 minutes, Chelsea are 2-0 up. Business as usual, but then something incredible happens. Bradford turns the match completely on its head and wins 4-2, away at the home of the overwhelming favourite. Jonathan Stead pulls one back before half-time, and after the break, it's all Bradford. Fearless, direct and hungry. Chelsea look rattled, out of rhythm. Moraes levels it at 2-2, then Halliday and Yates seal the miracle later on. The Bantams' fans can hardly believe their eyes. How did the underdog win? Bradford played with freedom, passion, ruthless efficiency, and punished every mistake by Mourinho's star-studded team. For Chelsea, it was a nightmare. For Bradford, a legendary night of belief, bravery and pure football magic. 1998, Kaiserslautern's title fairytale as a promoted team. The 1997-98 season, FC Kaiserslautern writes Bundesliga history. Freshly promoted, the team led by Otto Rehhagel stuns the football world and wins the German title, a feat that remains unmatched to this day. Right from match day 1, they make their mark. A 1-0 away win at Bayern Munich with a blend of experienced leaders like Sforza and young talents like Reich and Ballack. Lautern play smart, compact and united. They top the table early and never let go. On match day 31, it becomes official. A 4-0 win over Wolfsburg, and the Fritz-Walter Stadium erupts. Fans still say, without the Rehhagel factor, this would have never happened. And the next story shows just how powerful that Rehhagel factor really was. 2004, Greece's shocker in the final of Lisbon. Euro 2004 final in Lisbon, hosts Portugal face massive underdogs Greece, a team hardly anyone took seriously before the tournament. But just like in the opening match, the Greeks display incredible discipline. In the 57th minute, Charisteas heads in the corner for 1-0, a goal that enters football history. Portugal throws everything forward. Figo, Deco and a young Ronaldo lead the charge. But Greece defends with heart, structure and grit. Coach Otto Rehhagel has shaped an ordinary squad into a tactical masterclass. The key to their shock victory? Rock-solid defense, flawless positioning, and deadly set pieces. In the end, it's a historic triumph. Greece wins the European Championship as underdogs and stuns the football world. Portugal is left heartbroken, while Greece writes its greatest football story. 2022, Cambridge knocks out Newcastle, a true FA Cup fairy tale. In the third round of the 2022 FA Cup, 4th Division, Cambridge United travel to face Premier League side Newcastle United, carrying little more than hope. But what unfolded at St James's Park was pure cup magic. Cambridge pulled off a stunning 1-0 upset and sent the Giants crashing out. After a steady first half, the moment came in the 56th minute. Joe Ironside pounced in the box and buried the ball. Cue disbelief across the stadium. Newcastle pushed forward, but even the debut of star signing Kieran Trippier couldn't rescue them. Cambridge stood firm. Keeper Dimitar Mitov delivered a heroic performance, making save after save to protect the lead. So how did the underdog do it? With heart, discipline and a fearless spirit. Cambridge believed, while Newcastle looked flat and underestimated them. It was a night to remember, a perfect reminder of why the FA Cup is so special. 2022, Saudi Arabia stuns Argentina on the world stage. November 22nd, 2022. A group stage game no one expected to make history. Argentina, one of the World Cup favourites, faced Saudi Arabia, and the world watched in shock as the underdogs came from behind to win 2-1. It started predictably. Messi converted an early penalty and Argentina looked in control. But after halftime, everything changed. Saleh Al-Shehri equalised with a sharp finish. Just minutes later, Salem Al-Dawsari scored an absolute beauty, a curling rocket into the top corner. Argentina pressed relentlessly, but Saudi Arabia defended like warriors. Keeper Al-Owais made huge saves and the backline held firm. The difference? Saudi Arabia played with total belief, tactical discipline, physical intensity, and fearless attacking. Argentina looked rattled and stunned. For Saudi Arabia, it was more than just 3 points. It was a moment that changed how the world sees their football. 2021, Holstein Kiel freezes Bayern out of the cup. It was supposed to be routine. Bayern Munich, the reigning champions, travelling to second-tier Holstein Kiel in the 2021 DFB Pokal. But in freezing snow and swirling winds, a cup classic was born. Gnabry gave Bayern an early lead, but Kiel didn't blink. Just before halftime, Bartels equalised. Sane put Bayern back ahead with a brilliant free kick. But deep in stoppage time, Hock Wall headed in the 2-2 equaliser. Extra time brought no winner. Then came penalties. Kiel held their nerve. Bayern blinked. Rocker missed. Final score 6-5 on penalties, and Holstein Kiel wrote their name into Pokal history. They did it with courage, smart play, and ice-cold nerves. Bayern were caught off guard and beaten not just by tactics, but by pure belief. 2016, Iceland's legendary win over England. June 27th, 2016. Iceland, in their first ever major tournament, faced off against Italy in the Euro 2016 round of 16. What followed became one of football's most iconic underdog stories. England struck early, Rooney converted a penalty, and it looked like business as usual. But Iceland had other plans. Just 2 minutes later, Ragnar Sigurðsson equalised. Then came the moment. Kolbeinn Sigurðsson took advantage of a shaky defence and slotted home for 2-1. What followed was a masterclass in grit and organisation. England pressed, but Iceland never broke. Compact, calm, completely unfazed. And when the final whistle blew, they celebrated their now famous clap, and the football world roared with them. Iceland didn't just win a match, they made a statement. A passion, belief, and unity can shake the giants. 2002, Senegal stuns France in World Cup opener. May 31st, 2002, the reigning world champions France kick off the World Cup in South Korea and Japan, facing tournament newcomers Senegal. Expectations? Routine victory. Reality? A seismic shock. In Seoul, Senegal came out with pace, energy, and no fear. And in the 30th minute, Papa Boba Diop pounced on a loose ball in the box and bundled home the winner, before launching into his now iconic shirt circle celebration. France, missing an injured Zidane, looked flat, struggling all game against Senegal's relentless pressing and lightning-fast counterattacks. Why was this win so extraordinary? Senegal played with fearlessness, tactical sharpness, and pure belief, while France seemed sluggish and out of ideas. The underdogs' physicality and confidence caught them off guard. It was more than a shock. It launched Senegal onto the global stage, setting them on a dream run to the quarterfinals in their World Cup debut. 2013, Wigan shocks Manchester City in the FA Cup final. May 11th, 2013, Wembley Stadium. The FA Cup final sees powerhouse Manchester City face relegation-throttled Wigan Athletic. On paper, it's a mismatch, but on the pitch, the script gets flipped. City never found their rhythm, slow, disconnected, and out of sorts. Wigan, meanwhile, were brave and brilliantly organised. Then in the 91st minute, the unthinkable. A corner, a perfect leap from Ben Watson, and the ball sails into the net. 1-0 Wigan. City stunned. Wigan in dreamland. How did they do it? Wigan believed. They defended with heart, stuck to their plan, and took their moment. City underestimated them and paid the price. Just days later, Wigan would be relegated, but this night, this was theirs forever. A fairy tale finish written in FA Cup history. 2022, Morocco topples Spain and makes history. In the round of 16 at the 2022 World Cup, Morocco faced off against European giants Spain, a team loaded with pedigree, trophies, and passing mastery. But Morocco had something else: heart, unity, and the belief that they belonged. Spain dominated the ball, but Morocco dominated the space. Every run was blocked, every angle closed. For 120 minutes, the North African side defended with laser focus. Then came the shootout, and the heroics of goalkeeper Yassine Bono. 2 brilliant saves, 1 Spanish miss, and finally, Achraf Hakimi steps up. Calm as ever, he chips a cheeky Panenka down the middle. 3-0 in penalties, Morocco erupts. They hadn't conceded a single goal from an opponent in regular time, and now they were quarter-finalists. For Spain, another frustrating exit. For Morocco, a night of glory and a sign of even greater things to come. 2022, Morocco's historic triumph over Portugal. December 10th, 2022. Morocco stood on the brink of the impossible. Facing Portugal in the quarterfinals, they were the underdogs once again. But 90 minutes later, they had made history. The first African team to ever reach a World Cup semi-final. The defining moment came in the 42nd minute. A deep cross, Youssef En-Nesyri rising high above Portugal's keeper Diogo Costa, and a thunderous header into the net. 1-0 Morocco. In the second half, Portugal threw everything forward. Ronaldo, Joao Felix, Bruno Fernandes, but Morocco would not break. Bono stood tall in goal, making world-class save after save. What made this moment unforgettable? Morocco didn't just beat a big name, they beat them with collective strength, tactical brilliance, and an unshakable desire to make history. Portugal had the ball, Morocco had the spirit. And that made all the difference. It wasn't just a win, it was the greatest night in Morocco's football story, and a milestone for the entire African continent. 2023, Bournemouth brings Liverpool back to earth after 7-0 high. Just 1 week after the historic 7-0 thrashing of Manchester United, Liverpool came crashing back down on March 11th, 2023. A shock 1-0 defeat to relegation-threatened Bournemouth left fans stunned and pundits speechless. From the outset, Bournemouth played with courage, compact at the back, sharp on the break. In the 28th minute, a quick counter-attack found Dango Ouattara, who squared for Philip Billing to tap in. Liverpool responded with pressure and urgency and earned a penalty in the 70th minute. But Mohamed Salah fired it over the bar. Bournemouth's win was no fluke. With disciplined defending, smart positioning and precise counter-attacks, they exposed Liverpool's weaknesses. The Reds looked careless, uninspired and perhaps guilty of underestimating their opponent. For Bournemouth, the result was vital for survival, and a day that gave them real belief. 2023, Wrexham delivers FA Cup chaos against Coventry. On January 7th, 2023, one of the most entertaining matches of the FA Cup unfolded as 5th tier Wrexham AFC defeated 2nd Division Coventry City 4-3 away from home in a clash packed with goals, drama, red cards and one very happy Hollywood owner. Wrexham went into halftime with a remarkable 3-1 lead, thanks in part to a thunderous free kick from Elliot Lee. The second half brought even more chaos. Coventry pulled one back, Wrexham made it 4-2, then conceded again. Down to 10 men, the underdogs withstood intense pressure in the final minutes and held on. It was a performance full of attacking bravery, fighting spirit and pure joy, despite the two-division gap. Coventry never recovered from the early onslaught and Wrexham's momentum. For a club backed by Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, it was more than just a win. It was a celebration of football's enduring romance. 2016, Leicester defies the odds and rewrites history. What began as a feel-good story became one of the greatest shocks in sporting history. Leicester City were crowned Premier League champions, defying odds of 5,000 to 1. Led by Claudio Ranieri, the team surged past England's elite with remarkable consistency and belief. Powered by Jamie Vardy's goal streak, Riyad Mahrez's flair, and N'Golo Kante's tireless midfield work, Leicester played with speed, structure and unity. Their 3-1 win at Manchester City and the 2-1 home victory over Chelsea, which cost Jose Mourinho his job, were among the defining moments of the campaign. Their success wasn't built on luck. It was a perfect blend of togetherness, explosive transitions, and disciplined defending. As others faltered, Leicester stayed steady and, on May 2nd, 2016, completed a fairy tale no one saw coming. A triumph not just for the underdog, but for football itself. 2021, Sheriff Tiraspol stuns Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. On September 28, 2021, Champions League debutants Sheriff Tiraspol pulled off one of the greatest upsets in European football history, beating 13-time winners Real Madrid 2-1 at the Santiago Bernabeu. Sheriff took a surprise lead in the 25th minute as Yakshiboev headed home. Real dominated from then on, equalizing through a Benzema penalty and pushing hard for a winner, but Sheriff held their ground, battled for every ball, and in the 89th minute delivered the final blow. Sebastian Thill unleashed a stunning long-range strike into the top corner. It was a masterclass in discipline, commitment, and ruthless efficiency. While Madrid controlled the game, Sheriff waited patiently and struck with perfect timing. More than a lucky night, it was a clear message. Even the smallest clubs can leave a giant mark on football history. Which underdog moment was your favourite, or did we miss one? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more football stories that defy the odds.